It's 2004 on a cold winter's night in Cambridge, Massachusetts. A 20-something-year-old is crowded over a computer on the cusp of revolutionizing human interaction. Mark Zuckerberg is about to launch Facebook. Sure, MySpace and Friendster were on the scene, but their impact was a ripple compared to the waves of Facebook. As Facebook soared, so did its user base, its influence, its grip on our attention. However, fast forward to today, and a quick online scan uncovers an avalanche of articles signaling Facebook's downturn. So we're left asking, is Facebook, now called Meta Platforms Inc., truly in decline? Are user numbers plummeting? Is it teetering on the edge of financial ruin? Or are these just sensational headlines that are overblown? To uncover the truth, we must dissect Meta's financial performance. Since its inception, it's been on an upswing, boasting robust revenue growth, and since 2018, solid net profit margins averaging 30% over the period. But in 2022, the tide seemed to turn. For the first time, Meta's revenue declined. Although this decline only represents a 1.1% drop, which doesn't set off alarm bells immediately, it does signal challenges. And these challenges are stemming not from a decline in its active users, which have actually been increasing steadily, contrary to popular belief, but from a decline in its average price per ad. You see, Meta isn't really a social media company. It's an advertising platform that just happens to need users that it can serve ads to. In 2022, advertising revenue decreased by $1.3 billion from 2021 figures, with the average price per ad falling by 16%. Why? Well, Meta cites many reasons, but the largest driver is simply marketers spending less in challenging macroeconomic times. So, revenue has declined as companies spend less on advertising, typical of tough times. But more concerning is the drastic 41% decrease in profit from 2021 to 2022. Why did profit fall so much when revenue only dipped a little? Looking at Meta's profit and loss statement reveals that virtually all costs have ballooned, a dangerous trend for any company. However, Meta's research and development expenditure has grown the most, outpacing all other costs. In 2022, Meta's R&D costs soared to $35.3 billion. This spending, which mainly covers payroll and facilities for the engineering and technical teams, grew by a staggering 43.3% year on year. R&D costs now account for a massive 30.3% of Meta's revenue, marking an increase of $10.7 billion in costs in a single year. When costs grow faster than revenues, profit decline is inevitable. Currently, Meta's R&D spending appears to be a primary driver of this problem, and to rectify the issue, Meta has undertaken a restructure. In November 2022, Meta laid off approximately 11,000 people. They cancelled multiple existing data center projects and reduced the number of facilities they lease. But restructuring like this isn't free. You can't cancel leases, get rid of thousands of employees, and stop development projects for nothing. To undertake this restructuring, Meta spent $4.6 billion in 2022, adding further to its declining profits. So, the narrative surrounding Meta's decline isn't one of a vanishing user base or an impending downfall, as we've seen. It's an entangled story of slowing advertising spend, ballooning R&D costs, and the complex nature of our current macroeconomic environment, which clearly impacts a platform with over 2 billion users. Whether Meta will successfully navigate these tough conditions or continue to experience pain because of them remains to be seen. But the company is not in immediate peril. Meta is not dead, it's not dying, it's not taking its final breaths. In fact, Meta is attempting to innovate its way to growth, something the cushion of software super profits allows. The recent launch of Threads signals an attempt to capture more of our attention, which will ultimately drive advertising dollars for the company. And its continued push for the Metaverse, something a large R&D spend might help it achieve, is attempting to completely overhaul the way we interact in the digital space, despite its lackluster start.